you can't be out of shape with fat. It's rude. It's rude to other people. And I'm sorry, that may seem harsh to people, but I agree with it. It is. I'm sorry, it is. I don't want to go on any further with that and get myself in trouble. But look, at the end of the day, Wegovy and Ozempic would not be in business if we were in shape. Yes or no?
That's a fact. Take this idea of body positivity. You're literally killing the people that you're being body positive to.
Welcome to the Family Office, planning for the people who matter most.
Interestingly enough, health trials are underway for Wegovy and Ozempic, which obviously is massive and has done a massive cash cow. I'm not surprised here because what they're seeing now is they can slow early Alzheimer's in a 2-to-1 breakthrough. I'm not shocked about this, Len, simply because of what I've researched, and you've seen a lot of for quite maybe almost like 10 years now, but it's gotten really hot in like the last, I'd say 2 or 3 years that I've noticed anyways. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's been hotter longer than this, but you've seen from a lot of, I don't want to call them alternative doctors or YouTube doctors, but you understand what I'm saying. The people that you can find so many doctors on YouTube now, right? Which are very credible, like Gary Brecka. And I think he's a doctor, Dr. Berg, Dr. Sten Ekberg. There's a lot of them out there, right? And a lot of these doctors, I will call them alternate doctors because they're not your general major medical government health doctors, right? Because that's really what the healthcare system is it's not a private health system. It's health insurance companies that are in bed with the government that sets rates and all that stuff and gets, But at any rate, a lot of these alternate doctors have been saying it for 3 to 4 years that I know of, that Alzheimer's is diabetes 3, right? It's type 3 diabetes. I'm not surprised in seeing this simply because what Ozempic and Wegovy does, and correct me if I'm wrong, is they're GLP-1 inhibitors, which means, is that the right thing, or is it? Is that one GLP-1? Which means they basically it almost mimics fasting, right? And it blocks it does what intermittent fasting does. Basically, it's almost like a high dosage of metformin or something like that, where it turns that function off and it reverses your body. It puts it almost like your body in a state of ketosis, because now what it's doing is it's blocking that GLP-1. I'm not surprised because the link is the sugar in the brain, right? The sugar in the brain creates the Alzheimer's, which ultimately creates diabetes 3 or type 3 diabetes. So I'm not surprised here. What's your take on it? Because if that is the case, I'm all for it. I think it's a great thing if we can understand how to use these responsibly, like we've done with metformin.
Yeah, I think to your point, when you look at how Alzheimer's is created or how it forms in the body, I believe that more and more is being discovered. And definitely what you talk about, these studies are preliminary. And most of the studies have been on lab rats and different animals. But now for the first time, they're doing a large study on large numbers of people. And what they're trying to find out is if Ozempic and Wegovy have a specific and direct link, because there's thousands of people that are taking a placebo. And so now you've got a controlled study where now you've got a group of people where you can see the actual difference, where in the instances of people that have lost weight and that have no Alzheimer's or decreased their symptoms, now we're looking at the possibility that this drug could be a great 2-for-1. And so most people up until now, as you know, have been taking Wegovy and Ozempic to reduce fat, and they're reducing their A1C levels. And therefore there's these other supplemental effects like reducing inflammation. And so I think though, to me, I think the major issue that people need to think about, let's fast forward and say, okay, there is a direct link between taking Wegovy and Ozempic and reduction of Alzheimer's. People will believe that it'll never happen to them. I'll never get Alzheimer's. It won't happen to me. It's always somebody else. So even if you market it as, hey, this is a great weight loss drug, I think there needs to be a shift in the mindset and the thinking. Because if I am a person who overate. And for whatever reason, I became overweight. And now I start to have inflammation in my body and all of these other symptoms. If and only if I'm going to take Wegovy or Ozempic, I need to begin to start eating differently. I need to eat less, because what happens is when you take these drugs, it begins to stifle your hunger. But what happens is oftentimes they still eat fast. They still eat the same types of food they ate before. And that's why a lot of the symptoms they get and all of the, what do you call those side effects are as a result of their eating habits, not necessarily of the drug itself. For example, one side effect is like these sulfuric burps. And that's just your body's reaction to the gut trying and the microbiome making adjustments. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a random dude on YouTube. So definitely don't take this as medical advice for sure. I'm not that kind of doctor. But anyway, having studied these things and the side effects and, different people that have taken it, another side effect is associated with rapid weight loss. So it's better to gradually lose weight, because if you lose too much fat in your face and in your body, they call this the Ozempic face, where it's very, the skin sags and all of that. It's because, there's no collagen that's holding up your skin anymore. Because if that weight loss just goes away so rapidly, your face structure begins to change. And now you find yourself having saggy skin. And now you've got the opposite effect, and so as I was thinking about today's topic, it started to make me think, there was this whole movement about body positivity, especially amongst women. And I wanted to get your thoughts about just this whole idea of body positivity in light of Alzheimer's, because like for me as a home care agent, as a home care owner, I think about it from the standpoint of I would much rather have fewer clients as a result of more people living healthy lives and not getting Alzheimer's, as opposed to not having access to something like this. Okay. So that's my perspective. But I think another conversation could be added to this, which is this notion of body positivity, because like I mentioned before, people aren't going to just be taking this just to say, oh, I want to prevent Alzheimer's. No, they look in the mirror and they see somebody that they don't like looking back at them, and they want to lose that excess body fat. So what are your thoughts about body positivity?
I mean, I think it just gets interesting that it's almost like Wegovy and Ozempic are almost, they're trying to manufacture a whole, whatchamacallit? What is it? The sex drug. You know what I'm talking about? Viagra.
Viagra. Yeah, it's Viagra 2.0.
It's Viagra 2.0. From like, I feel like I'm 20 years old again, or 19 years old again.
That's right.
Back in 98, 99.
Viagra originally was for heart.
Blood pressure for angina.
Yeah.
To get rid of angina pain. Mm. So, and then all of a sudden they go, oh, wait a minute, this stuff works great.
Yeah.
I almost feel like these guys and the camera are going, wait a minute, guys. This stuff works great. Mm-hmm. Now people don't actually, because it really is a diet pill. It's the first diet pill that actually really works, because it tells your body to go into ketosis by blocking your hunger hormones. So
that's right.
I just wish that they would be upfront and positive about it, because on the back end, what ends up happening is these doctors prescribe it, and then they don't say, oh, by the way, you really ought to look at a supplement protocol and a nutrition protocol now that you're on Wegovy and Ozempic, because you are going to get that drop, or that whatever you call it, the Ozempic phase, and because the collagen goes away, because your body's not eating right anymore.
That's right.
Right? But if you're on a proper, but you can take Wegovy and Ozempic, but you also then need, on the back end of it, I think it's a great drug. I think it's phenomenal because of what it does. Because it forces, look, if you don't have willpower to IMF, or you don't have willpower to get on a ketogenic diet just temporarily, and then get on a nice Mediterranean or balanced diet that helps you to reduce inflammation. I mean, Len, my 19-year-old daughter comes in and goes, I need to fast from carbs for the next 2 weeks because I can see the inflammation and feel it in my body. Mm-hmm. If my 19-year-old daughter understands that, how to eat for her body, anybody can.
That's right.
I just wish that they would put a nutrition plan and a proper supplement plan on the back end of it so people don't end up getting sick. And instead of people, when they do wean themselves off of Wegovy and Ozempic, because they've developed the natural mental acuity or mental toughness or whatever you want to call it, habits to actually do it on their own, because you could GLP-1 yourself without doing any of this, then I think be great, but they don't. Which furthers the body. But what was your, what did you say? Body, body positive.
Yeah. Have you, okay. It's a term, especially.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
I know what you're talking about. Look, here's the thing. I was fat, I was skinny, and I was in shape. I was skinny fat. You're right. You know what I'm talking about, right? You're skinny. Mm-hmm. I'm skinny, but you're skinny fat.
Yeah.
There's a difference between being skinny fat, athletic, or any of the stuff. I would classify myself now as athletic. A year or two ago, I would have classified myself as skinny. 4 years ago, I had classified myself as skinny fat, right? And then about 8 years ago, I was fat. I'm 5'9", 220 pounds. I was fat. There's nothing beautiful about it. I'm sorry for all those people who go, oh, in plus size. Look, I get it. My wife will tell the same thing. She was fat. And I would say, she would tell you, I was fat. I was a fat girl. I was like, baby, you are beautiful. She'll tell me, stop BSing me, right? And we both made a conscious decision. I led the way with, here's the diet I'm doing. I was unapologetic about it. Here's the nutrition protocol I'm doing. I was unapologetic about it. Here's the research that I did. Here's the videos I watched. Here's the doctors. Then I went and found myself a real holistic doctor, had to corroborate what I had researched, tweaked a few things. I was like, okay, that's not real. That makes sense. All right, cool. Went on it. And then 2.5, 3 years later, that's why I tell anybody, I'll take the Pepsi challenge. No pun intended. I'll take the Pepsi challenge. I'll show you my lab results. I'll show you my before and after pictures. To me, there's nothing beautiful about it. I'm sorry, there isn't. If that's not the way you were when you were 12 years old or 5 years old, everybody knows that who's been fat in their lives or out of shape in your lives. If you know that, to all fat boys, fat men out there, I'm speaking to you right now. You know that day or that month or that age you were at where all of a sudden you went from being the way your body is supposed to be to going, damn it, dude, you got that hanging thing going on. A boy is not supposed to have something hanging over their midsection. You're just not. I don't care who you are. Just maybe a tiny little bit as you get rid of baby fat and you're in your preteens and prepubescent and go through puberty. But as an 18, 19-year-old man, oh, I'm big boned. No, you're fat. You're just fat. And I know that day. I know the day. I was in 6th grade, halfway through after my dad died, halfway through 6th grade into 7th grade. I went, oh, I'm fat. And I was fat until I got out of high school. And then when I was 22, 21, I looked at myself in the mirror and went, yeah, I'm fat, and I got in shape. I made a conscious decision. I went to cardio kickboxing, and I got in shape, and I went, oh, this is what it is like to be in shape again. And all of a sudden, your body goes back to the way its form is supposed to be. And now I look at the way I am at 44, and I look at the way my wife is, and we look at each other and go, I feel like you're like 18 or 19 again. I feel like you're 20 again. And I'm like, well, yeah, because we're in shape. We're athletic now. We're the way our body is designed and should be. So, look, I'm not about being mean to people and all that stuff, but, my mother-in-law, God bless her, she's a very high standard woman, but she has a saying, and I'm sorry, I picked it up. She says, it's, you can't be out of shape and fat. It's rude. It's rude to other people. And I'm sorry, that may seem harsh to people, but I agree with it. It is. I'm sorry, it is. I don't want to go on any further with that and get myself in trouble, but look, at the end of the day, Wegovy and Ozempic would not be in business if we were in shape. Yes or no?
That's a fact.
And if you look, you ever seen those memes, Len? And I'll let you go. Those memes where you see the pictures of the people in the 60s and the 70s on the beach, and you're like, damn, who are those people? And then you look at a snap of today, and you're like, who are those people? And it's, go watch the movie WALL-E tonight, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Because we're all careening towards the WALL-E of WALL-E as human beings, where we're just on a spaceship, the spaceship cruise ship, and we're like this. So there's nothing beautiful about it. Sydney Sweeney, all the way long. That's how we should be doing it. I'm sorry, it's the way it is. Because I've been on both sides.
Yeah, I've been on both sides too. I would say some people that know me would say that I wasn't fat, but no, I was definitely fat. I wasn't obese, but I was definitely fat. And I think
A lot of people are so nice to us, right?
There is nuance.
They're so nice to us.
They are. There is nuance though. And so this is what I would say is that, to your point, I think there are too many people who are obese who have been mistreated in two ways. On the one hand, they've been denigrated and made to feel badly about themselves. And because of that, they feel that they're less than, they feel defeated. And some of them react so negatively to that they end up harming themselves. They binge and purge, or sometimes in extremes, they end up taking their own lives. And I think as a reaction to that, this whole body positive movement was a response to that. But I think the other way that we do harm is to tell people they're beautiful, even though they are beautiful people. Being fat is not healthy. Being overweight is not healthy. There's inflammation that goes on in your body. You've never seen a person that's 100 years old that's fat. I've never seen one. And so because of all of the harm that being overweight does to your organs, specifically your liver and your kidneys and your heart, when you have that visceral fat, your organs don't function as well. So to take this idea of body positivity, you're literally killing the people that you're being body positive to. Now, we should not, to your point, throw shade or hatred towards people that don't have the discipline to lose the weight, because sometimes it's more than willpower. Sometimes it's a gland issue. Sometimes it's something that goes beyond their control, and we have to take that into consideration. But in no way is it okay to be obese. It is not okay. It's not okay in terms of how you look. It's not okay, because think about it. If as a high value man, if I were single and I'm not, there's no way that I would personally ever date somebody who is a 10 plus. I may get in trouble for that, but I don't care because I'm married, so it doesn't matter. I wouldn't do it, because here's the thing. The reality is that in my tax bracket and in what I bring to the table, I have options. And I'm sorry, my options would be to find the most beautiful woman that I could find, that I could have access to. And men are very realistic about who they have access to. And so if I meet the criteria that can attract a large number of people, I'm going to pick the ones that are the most attractive. And if you survey every man on the planet that's a high value man, the similarities will be that they're looking for someone who's feminine. They're looking for someone who's fit. They're looking for someone who's supportive, someone who's classy. And anybody, I believe, can become those things, but it takes discipline. And if you don't have the discipline to become fit, I think Wegovy is a good way, in conjunction with changing your mindset around what you eat. Because here's the thing, and I'll wrap up. If I'm taking Wegovy and I feel full after I've eaten just a small portion of food, then I need to train my brain to eat the right types of things. Because the reason why people eat is because their brain gives a hormone called ghrelin that tells them they're hungry. If ghrelin is suppressed because of these drugs, then put the right things in your body and you can become fit. And so, if you can't do it on your own, I'm all for getting help to do it. And so that's really my take on it.
Yeah, I just don't like I think it's the biggest lie that you could tell somebody. Oh, you're beautiful. Okay, you're a beautiful person, right? But you don't look beautiful right now. You're 40 pounds overweight. And I really think that that's counterproductive. And I know that this might sound like, oh, that's such a man thing to say, but that's really, if you looked at the inside of your body and you turned it inside out, you wouldn't say you were beautiful anymore. Because that's your body's way of saying,
point.
I mean, have you ever seen
of a healthy person that has no visceral or low visceral fat versus a person that has high visceral fat? Man, that's a really, really good point.
That's the body's natural way of saying, bro, I'm ugly right now. Help me, please. You can't see it because, oh, you're beautiful and you need to wear size 20 now because you used to wear size 10. No. Just like me, I'm a 30-inch waist. I was a 40-inch waist. That's 10 inches over the size I should have been. I'm a small-framed guy. Like, that was my body's way of going, bro, you're ugly, sick inside. And I can't see it any other way. Unfortunately, the ugliness doesn't really start to manifest until the very end because in your body, pain is the last thing to show up when you're sick and the first thing to go away when you start getting better. So the pain, oh my God, you just don't look healthy anymore. And all of a sudden we just think it's this rite of passage that, oh, we need to get on drugs and this, and I'm going to take medication and it's normal. Like I read this article, this girl, she went and had a full body scan done. And there's all these things. She's like, oh, it's normal for my age. It's this, and just a little bit of this and a little bit of this. And she's 25, 27 going, what? I had a full body MRI scan, Len. I do it every 2 years. And the only thing, thank God, the only thing that came up last time was just, hey, you got a small little water cyst on your kidney. It's not symptomatic if you feel symptomatic. Otherwise, it'll probably go away its own. Leave it alone. And you got normal for your age, some degenerative arthritis in this place and in this place. Otherwise, you are screaming, bro. Get out of here.
I love it.
And I'm like, that's awesome. I was 42 when I did that. I'm about to do my next one here this November. But 25, 27, you're accepting this. And then all of a sudden, it's, if you smoke cigarettes, I have no problem with it. That's your choice. Go ahead and do it. Hey, look, I used to love to smoke cloves when I was in high school. I never smoked Marlboros, but hey, man, every now and then you get a smell of it. Cigarettes are disgusting, but everyone has their thing. I don't care. But when you push it on me and it creates harm on me, that's when it bothers me. If you want to be 500 pounds and 300 pounds, awesome. I don't have a problem with you. But then when you start to make affirmative action decisions or DEI decisions because of your weight, like the influencers have said that I should get 2 seats for free because I'm 400 pounds. No, you should go on a diet. You shouldn't get another seat for free or any of that stuff. So I just hate when they push it on other people. You can think you're beautiful and that's okay. I don't think it is. I think Cindy Crawford's beautiful. I think Rihanna's beautiful. I don't think that other stuff is beautiful where they show the plus size stuff. I'm sorry, I don't think it's beautiful. It's just not. It's not beautiful to me. And by the way, I think Nicki Minaj is beautiful, just so I can throw it out there. I like them in all shapes and sizes. But to be grossly overweight because it's out of your body proportion, if you're not height weight proportion for what your body's supposed to be, you are overweight and you are sick. But Ozempic will give you to the rescue. But it shouldn't be used as a means to solve whatever problem it is that you have at that point. Yes, and with that being said, guys, thanks for joining and for watching. If you enjoyed this, we'd love to hear your comments in there. If you want to see something else, you want to see us two crazy people talk about stuff, then let us know. We're more than happy to do it. But until then, always a pleasure to talk to you and be with you, Len. And here's the best part. Regardless of what we talk about, we love it and we enjoy it because we're friends afterwards and we're business partners afterwards. And we're going to go and enjoy life afterwards and go, that was some pretty funny stuff right there. Because at the end of the day, you and I are going to control our circumstances because we are not victims of our circumstances. We are masters of our circumstances. So with that being said, never above, never decide. Appreciate your Len, always, all the time. See you guys on the next one.
Take care, man.
Conversation has given you clarity on your next steps. Please share this episode with someone who's walking the same path. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss future episodes. And remember, planning ahead isn't just prudent, it's an act of care. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Family Office.